What is going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of The Hot Take. This is where we talk everything real estate, from wholesaling, rentals, fix and flipping, and everything in between. I'm your host, Jesse Burrell, and this is The Hot Take. All right, guys, today I have a very, very special guest. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the power of leveraging money. In particular, talking about how do you use other people's money to get wealthy. I have a special guest, Sam Primm. What is going on, my man?
How you doing, buddy?
Awesome. I appreciate you coming in. So before we get started, real quick, let's give a quick bio. Where are you from? How long you been doing real estate for? And approximately how many deals are you doing every month?
Sam Primm, from St. Louis, a real estate investor. I had a full-time job and I started to do real estate on the side and quit that job. And now I have a house buying company. We bought 204 houses last year. I have a rental portfolio built of 125 rental properties. And then I also have some storage facilities and an education company where I teach other people how to do what I did. I've done all that without using any of my own money. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, let's get into it. Wow. So 204 houses.
Yeah.
Using none of your own money.
None of our own money. Yeah, we use our marketing, we do all that. But as far as buying the houses, if we close on them, we use other people's money, or we wholesale them and don't even have to close on them.
Even better. So that gets me excited. Let's get hot. Let's do a nice little hot take here. So let's dive in. Let's talk about other people's money. You said there's 3 ways to use other people's money. Let's talk about those now.
Yeah, there's 3 main ways. 2 of them are great. One of them is okay. Banking, everybody knows they can use banks. You can use other people's money, the banks. But the 2 main ways that people don't really know about as much is private lending and hard lending. So you can use a private lender. Private lender is my favorite, and that is a person. It's like if I were to borrow money from you,
correct?
Because you make so much money. If I were to borrow money from you, and then I do something with it, I go and buy a house and fix it up and sell the house or keep it as a rental. I pay you back plus interest. Done. You probably won't look at my credit score. You probably have favorable terms. We can be flexible. So that private money is the best. The second is hard money. They're actual companies. So these are people these are actually companies. These aren't people. These are companies that the sole purpose is to lend money to real estate investors like you and I. The interest rates are a little bit higher. Sometimes they'll look at your credit score. Sometimes they won't, but they're still great to work with. It's a great money source. Either way, you're not using any of your own money, and you can buy a lot of real estate without using any of your own money.
So yeah, it's absolutely incredible. That's how you scale quickly to go from making a little bit of money to a lot of money. Because in your real estate journey, let's say you're going to clip, you do a flip, you make $30,000. Another flip, you do $30,000. You need to reinvest that money, do things, and you can only grow so quickly, right?
You're 100% right. So even, we do pretty well, but even if I, would take all of my profit from my companies, I could still only buy, maybe putting 20% down on 4 to 5 rentals a month. But if you're using other people's money, you can literally buy 20 a month if you want. I mean, we bought 27 houses at one time, all rented, using other people's money. How much would I have to save up? How many months of our time would we have to save up to just put 20% down on that?
Correct. And basically, I mean, I've used quite a bit of OPM as we're talking about other people's money.
Not OPP, OPM.
Exactly. So for example, this building that we bought, we found it on the MLS. And we bought it for a little over $500. So what we did was we got a loan from the bank, but what we did was our down payment, we used someone else's money. And for the rehab, we used someone else's money while we're fixing it up, making it nicer, and then burring that property, which we'll get into what burring is later. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But we were able to basically buy this building for $0. We were $0 out of pocket. We ended up refinancing it for a loan of $750,000. And it's worth $1.4 million. We got all of our cash back, plus we have extra equity.
And that's the beautiful thing about you bought it at a discount and added value.
Right.
So you're not leveraging yourself at 100% of what the property is worth.
Correct.
You're just leveraging. You're just 100% of what you have in it. So that's key. If you get properties at a discount and you add value, you're not in a risky position because you're 50% leverage on this property or 55%, whatever the exact math is. So you're not. There's not risk there. I mean, there's risk like anything, but there's not more risk in doing it this way because you're buying right. The market shifts a little bit and something happens, this property drops 10% in value, you're still very, very, very safe because you have so much equity in it because you bought it right and fixed it up. So that's the beauty of it.
I mean, the more beautiful part about it is I never used any of my money to even get into this building. And that's how you're able to scale quickly and start making money. You obviously have to have a process, know how to flip or wholesale or buy rentals. But very quickly, if you're successful and you say, hey, you go to private money people.
NSA black. You a millionaire? You still trying to ask for money?
That's how you stay a millionaire.
And start telling them what you do, they're going to want to figure out a way to how they can make money. You're basically saying to them, you could be my bank and I could pay you monthly interest payments. And they're like, oh, I like that.
And it's secured by an actual asset. It's
Correct.
it's the house or the building or whatever you're buying. We've BRRR'd apartment complexes, single family rentals, storage facilities. I mean, you can BRRRR anything if you can buy any long-term asset using other people's money as long as it produces cash.
So we said BRRRR a multitude of times. Let's maybe let the audience know what is BRRRR and explain it real quick.
Yeah, so it's a way to buy long-term assets without using any of your own money, long-term rentals. So it's buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and scale. We actually changed the last R. So it stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and scale. So you want to just quickly go over an example?
Sure.
So you buy a property for $100,000 using a private lender's money. So they give you the $100,000 to buy it,
Yep.
and it needs $50,000 worth of work. So that's the buy, and then the rehab, the first R. So they give you the $50,000 to fix it up as well. So you have $150,000 of a private lender's money in the deal.
Correct.
Then the next one is R. You get it rented. You get that property rented for probably $2,000 a month. So after this point, private lenders giving you money, the renter's giving you money. You haven't given money back to anybody.
Yep.
How are we going to get them their money back without using our own money? That's kind of what the next step is. The most important step is the refinance step. You take the property to a bank. Usually, if it's a house, it's a small local bank, and they'll do a appraisal, and they'll write you a check for 80% of the appraised value. So let's say this property, we have $150,000 of our private lender's money in the deal.
Yep.
It's rented, so you take a fixed up rented property to a bank. Small local banks, not your commerce banks, not your big banks. They got to be, small local banks that do this. And then they'll write you a check for 80% of that appraised value. This rental we just did, it's a perfect rental. I have 75 of them in my rental portfolio. It appraised for $200,000 because you bought a discount added value just like you did this building, and they write you a check for 80%. That's $160,000. So I pay back my initial lender his $150 plus $10,000 in interest. He made $10,000 in 80 days. That's an incredible return, and now I own it. I owe the bank $160, but the tenant is paying that. The tenant pays the mortgage, the taxes, insurance, all owning expenses, and I have $40,000 equity. Done. I own a rental, no money on my pocket, and then scale. Do as many times as you can until you make how much money you want to make.
Exactly. And I love that. I mean, we've done that on this building. We're doing it on apartments we're building. I've done it on everything. So we do the exact same thing.
You're a baller.
Sounds like Kong right there. But it's such a great way to really, I like how you say scale, because now you have infinite money. It's as much money as you could raise and deals that you could take on without making sure that you're not making mistakes.
Yeah, so I kind of changed. It used to be repeat at buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. That's kind of the coin phrase that was out there. And I just kind of turned it to, instead of repeat, because that doesn't mean anything, scale. You scale at a higher level, and actually each letter stands for a certain way to scale. We don't need to get into that. But it's a way to if I want to do this a lot, I don't just want to do it one time. So you need to scale. You need to learn how to each step improve and create systems and process so you can do it at a higher level.
Exactly. And once you really learn it, people will flock to you, and they do want to make money with you or off you, and a lot of opportunities arise from this.
Yeah, we have more private money than we know to do it at this point, because most people like real estate investing. They've seen it on TV, or they know that it's a good investment. They just don't want to spend the time and effort and knowledge and rehabbing and finding contractors and doing all that. So they'd rather just give you the money. They understand it's secured by the asset that they're loaning on. So they understand it's a great investment, and they get a great solid return on it. And you can do it long term, like you do building or apartments and pay them monthly, or you can just in that refinance stage when the bank gives you that money. At that point, you just pay them back and they're done and they're ready to reinvest. I mean, you can use that same $150,000 from that one lender. I can use that same money over and over, that exact same amount of money. Our number one private lender made like $75,000 on us last year and didn't do anything except write us a handful of checks. So it's a great.
So I do OPM too. We do hard money lending and private. It's more private money lending. Okay. So we already do that, and that's my favorite check that I receive every month.
150-yard hole in the line.
Where's my check?
We'll be mailing them out next week, sir.
Oh, no, I want mine now.
I don't have any checks to give.
Well, that guy got one, right? Give me one of them big ones. I don't care.
Yep.
Like 100% for sure. It's something I really enjoy. But let's take it a step back. We're really talking about how we've had success doing this. Let's say you're wanting to get started, or you've just done a deal or two. How do you go find the private money? Let's talk about that. Let's give some value there. That should be our last question for the hot take, because I think that's what people are really here to find out.
Okay, so the best way to find private money is to leverage your resources. Now, you're not gonna. I hate it when people say, I texted 10 people in my phone and I can't find a private money lender. Well, no shit. Well, no crap. It takes time and effort. This is simple, but it's not easy. People get the two confused all the time. It's simple, but it's not easy. You have to put some time and effort to it. Whether it takes you 2 months or 2 years to find a private money lender, that's okay. It's worth the wait. So you need to tell people what you're doing. Don't go post on Facebook, hey, I'm looking for private lenders. Don't go post on Instagram. Don't do that.
Show what you're doing.
Post about what you're doing. If people see that you're passionate, people that see you're successful, I promise you, if you post once a week about what you're doing and you're actually doing deals, whether you're wholesaling with no money or using hard money, however you're doing it, people will find you. I think this past week, our insurance guy approached us about giving us $150,000 for private lending. And the people, one of my employees' tax guy approached him about giving. People will approach you if they see you out there doing it and being successful.
And if you're trying to approach people, do not go in there and start asking for money. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them what you're looking to do. Hey, do you know of anybody? This is what I'm looking for. Don't say, hey, you.
Yeah, give me money.
Give me money. So I for example, are raising money right now for some of our apartments.
Okay.
And I called my lender, who's done a bunch of deals with me, and I go, I don't know if this would interest you, but I know you keep a lot of money in your bank and you're not making a lot off of it. He's very conservative. I go, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. And our minimum investment's $250K. If you're interested, let me know. If not, I'll go to the next person. But I'm only going to about 4 people to do this. And he goes, can I put in more?
Exactly. Because they're not doing you a favor. If anything, you're doing
them
them a favor. Yes, you got to look at it that way. So that's great. And one side note about that is most people don't have a rich uncle or a rich. But if you do have, no matter your relationship with the private money lender, a key thing in my opinion is you got to be professional. If it's your mom, that's fine. Great. Good for you. I didn't have that. But if you have that, that's awesome. Leverage that, but be professional, whether it's your grandparents, your mom, or whether it's somebody you don't know. Be professional. Have a presentation. Show them a business plan. Show them some example deals that you have done or will do. Just treat them as a business partner, which is what they are. Correct. Don't just treat them as a friend. Hey, I'd like to have this money kind of thing.
Yeah, you absolutely don't want to treat them like that. You want to let them know that you want to work with them. And it may not be a fit for them. They don't understand that you're collateralizing something against their money to where they should be protected. So not everybody's a fit. Explain what you're doing, how you're doing, and talk to as many people as you possibly can. The best advice I could give is people want to work with people, one, they like, and people that are passionate. So if you're both those things and you show that, eventually you're going to start getting that money that you're hoping for. But sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. I've had a long track record to be able to go and do these things now. So my best advice is to really dial in your businesses on flipping, rentals, or wholesaling, and showing that you're a successful business person. Then that's when I think someone's really going to want to work with you.
There's more money out there than their deals. There really are. So I would say in closing, if you want to close a private money lender, here are 4 great ways to make them feel secure in the investment. The first is, and we still do this to this day, I don't know if you do, but we have quite a few of them, but we still have a personal guarantee. We are so personally guaranteed.
IPG too. I think if I'm not willing to personal guarantee it, I shouldn't take your money.
Exactly. So personal guarantee. So that's protecting it. It goes beyond the LLC. You're personally promising to pay them back. The second is a promissory note. It just sets up the terms of the interest and the terms of the actual deal.
Yep.
And it tells your LLC that's going to pay them back. The third is list them as an additional insured. The house catches on fire, they get the insurance check to them because they're on the additional insured. And then the fourth is to their. Some of them, not all of them, can be listed on the deed. So if you get hit by a bus, they own the property. So those 4 things, you don't get that in any other type of investment.
Heck no.
So that's safer than a bank.
Yes, it's as guaranteed could get.
Yeah,
And that's the comfortable thing. That's what I explained to my buddy yesterday when I was speaking with him. It's so funny I had that conversation yesterday, and we had no idea we were doing this today. But I explained to him the personal guarantee, and he's like, so literally you're paying me X amount every month, interest only, and I almost have basically no risk. I'm like, yeah. He's like, Okay.
Yeah, so if you can get comfortable explaining those 4 things, be passionate about it, put it out that you're doing it, be successful, have a business plan, and they understand that their interest or their return is collateralized and backed up by the asset, you're going to get a lot of money. You just got to fine tune your process, and you'll get it.
Basically at that point, it's how could I scale to get more deals and get in front of other homeowners, and that's where Batch Leads and all of our products come in.
There you go. Exactly. If you leverage other people's money and leverage your guys' technology, your guys' marketing skills, your guys' brand, your name, all the process. Just leverage other people. Don't try and recreate everything. Just go with what already works. This works. Batch works. And you can be successful. Just how successful do you want to be? How hard do you want to work for the next 5 years so you can take the next 50 off? Or do you want to just keep working? It just, you have control over your financial freedom if you do things this way. There's no limiting factor.
Absolutely. So before we go, give me one last gem that you want to give to the audience.
If you don't have the best credit score, that's okay. That holds a lot of people back. Most private money lenders, you develop a relationship with them. They understand the process, and they're not even going to look at your credit score or care about it. So I don't know one private money lender that's ever looked at my credit score, and I didn't start off with a lot of cachet. I started off where most people are starting.
They're basically going off your track record more than your credit score.
And the deal is
the deal matters just as much.
Yeah. So if they see there's $80,000 in equity in the deal and it's a safe deal, they're going to do it no matter what your credit score is.
So this was an absolutely amazing hot take. How does the audience get a hold of you? I know you got you're almost to 1 million followers on TikTok. What's the best way for someone to get a hold of Sam Primm?
Yeah, just find me on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok under the name Faster Freedom. Send me a message on DM if you want my free training or anything like that. Be more than willing to help out the best I can.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on, brother. It was great.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Turn on those notification bells to make sure you see the hot take. We're coming to you guys every single week. If you didn't learn how to raise money from other people today, I don't know what to tell you. That was absolutely fire. Appreciate you for watching, and let's get it.